Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to another episode here working in World of Adventure in Planet Coaster, where as you can see I'm currently working on the next attraction in my Italian themed area, which is going to be a rapids ride. So you can see that I'm currently working on the layout for it. Then I didn't like the layout because it was taking up too much space and it was also getting too close to that path. So there we go, you can see me just removing the entire thing and starting again from the beginning. Here we go. So here we go. You can see the layout going in just here. I do go back and make that more of a rapid section as well, by the way. Here we go. So the idea with this ride, I didn't want it to get too close to the path, but I also didn't want it to get too close to the coaster. That's how I built in the last episode. And even though they're part of the same area, they are going to have different stories. So of course, the coaster, I spoke about the story in the last episode with it being based in a vineyard. This one is going to be based in Venice. So the idea with this ride is that you're going on a river cruise through the city of Venice. That is the idea of this ride. The trough, the rapids itself, is the river that you're going down. Of course, Venice is very well known for its canals and rivers going through the city. So that's the idea. You're going to board a raft or boat, go down the river through Venice, and you're going to see all the buildings, and there's going to be different effects that happen, and it's going to be a nice kind of chilled out tour, but also it's a rapids, so it is going to have some excitement and thrills to it as well, where there's going to have some effects on there that's going to be part of the theming and worked into the story. So yeah, you're going to see all of that, or I say all of that, half of it take place in this episode and the other half in the next episode most likely. So I'm about halfway done with this ride so far. It's taking a lot longer than I was expecting it to. My plan was to have the whole thing finished in this episode, but it's taking a long time, and I wanted to get an episode uploaded because ideally I want to finish this series before Planet Coaster 2 is released, which is going to be at some point this autumn. We don't know yet in terms of what month, what date, but they have said it's going to be in the autumn. So I'd like to get this series finished before then, but if I spend too much time filming these videos, then obviously I'm not getting them uploaded. So I thought I'll get this video out now. I'll finish the rest of it off camera and then show you guys what I've done at the beginning of the next episode. So in this episode, you're going to see about half of the buildings go in. It's about halfway done by the end of the video. You'll then see a POV of the first half as well. And then off camera, I'm going to carry on working on this, finish it off, or maybe do most of it and then a bit more in the next episode on camera, maybe. But the plan for the next episode is to finish this ride, do all the finishing details, go back over to the coaster and do all the theming around there. Of course, there's still a show scene that I need to put on there, more landscaping and theming that I want to do. So you'll see that in the next episode. So my plan is to finish the Italian themed area in the next episode. So in this episode, it's all based on the rapids. Next episode, there's going to be a bit of rapids, a bit of coaster, and a bit of the area as a whole, like all the pathways and queue lines and theming around the area, food infrastructure, things like that. So you're going to see all of that come together over the next couple of episodes. So here we go. You can see that I've made progress on the first few buildings that are going to be here. So there's going to be buildings either side of the trough. Some of them are going to be double-sided kind of buildings because you're going to be able to see them from both sides, but I'm going to decorate them to make it look like they're different buildings. Here we go. You can see the next one going in here. So you can this bit here that I'm currently working on now, that's a clock tower, but you're not going to see that from the other side because I put in another wall to cover it up, as you can see there. So it's still the same building, but I've built them to make it look like they're different buildings, so it doesn't look like you're just going past the same building every time. So the idea is when you go past this, it would look like a different building, whereas it's actually the same building. A lot of theme parks do tend to do that. It's like they'll make their scenes double-sided to save space. So there we go. I wanted to kind of have that idea, and of course, it does save space. It makes things a lot easier. Of course, this isn't the biggest footprint that this ride's taking up. I didn't want it to take up a huge footprint, and it's exactly the size I wanted it to be. It's a decent length. It's a good few minutes. Not the longest rapids ever, but it's a decent length. It's not short. You're going to go around, see all different buildings. All of the buildings have similarities, however, there's differences as well. I wanted there to be a variety of buildings, not just all the same. However, I wanted it to look like what Venice really looks like. I did look up some photos of Venice. I've never actually been there. I'd love to go and see it at some point, but I've never been there. But I did look up some photos of it to kind of get some inspiration for this area. And I've kind of used the photos that I've seen to inspire me and also kind of done my own thing with it as well, added my own little twist to it as well. But overall, I feel like I have got a lot of inspiration from those photos, and I am really happy with the way that this has turned out so far. It's very bright, vibrant, lots to look at, lots of different buildings. They're not too similar, but they also fit in all together. So I am really happy with how this is turning out so far. Here we go. You can see another structure getting built just here. So there's another tower just there with a pointy bit at the top. I saw a building like that in one of the photos I was just talking about. So I thought, yep, I want to add one of those in here. So there we go. You can see that just there. Trying to use a bit of a variety of different roofs as well. As I said, I don't want them all to be too similar. And also, when there are ones that are kind of made out of the same materials, I'm kind of trying to design it so those ones are further away. So I don't know. It's just different buildings that it doesn't all look the same. I don't want it to all look the same. So here we go. You can see some columns going in here now for this balcony. They're a bit wonky. I haven't noticed that yet. I do notice that in a bit, and I go and change them. This fence ended up taking a while as well because I was trying to make it perfectly even, which can be difficult in Planet Coaster. Things don't always line up the way you want them to. But in the end, I found a way to sort it out how I wanted it to be. So here we go. You can see those fences just coming in from the wall now, placing them in, making sure they're nicely lined up. So yeah, I did spend quite a bit of time on this building. Overall, in this episode, this is probably about 3 hours worth of work that you're seeing sped up into this video. So yeah, it is time consuming. And as I said, I'm only about halfway through with it. So I have still got a lot more to do. But yeah, my plan is to do that off camera. And then I'll show you guys what I've done in the next episode. And hopefully it'll be looking pretty much, if not complete, by the end of the beginning of the next episode. Something else you're going to see come up in this episode is a lot of buildings that I build off camera. Of course, I built some of them on camera, but I built a lot of them off camera as well, just to make sure that it doesn't get too repetitive. So I do build a bridge as well that goes over the trough, and you're going to go underneath that as part of the ride. There will be a couple of those during the ride. A couple of them will be fake. However, one of them will actually be used by guests because I need to build a bridge over the trough to get the queue line to the station. So yeah, that will be a functional bridge, and then there's going to be a couple throughout the ride that are just there for the looks and the theming, and that aren't actually going to be functional. So you'll see that go into place later on in the episode. Here we go. As you can see, just adding some more details to this building. Yeah, as I was saying, just making them look a little bit different from each other. But then, of course, I have used these materials for a few of the different buildings. So, but they're not all too close together. It's quite a compact ride, but I'm really happy with how this has ended up. It's a compact ride, how I wanted it to be. The buildings are quite detailed and vibrant, and I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. And I'm looking forward to building the rest of it as well. Here we go. You can see some more details for this building. I do change the color of those, by the way. I don't think I did it on camera, but I do change them to orange. Oh, there we go. You can see that. There we go. You can see me changing them just there. So they're now white with the orange pattern on there. Here we go. Just looking for some details to put on the wall here. I didn't want to put some windows in here because I thought, oh no, I want something a bit different here. So I used those kind of wall decorations instead. I'm using quite a lot of the scenery from the pirate scenery pack on here because obviously it doesn't have to be linked to pirates, it's just nautical themed, isn't it? And that's the idea I'm going with here. So you're going to see a lot of barrels around the area, lots of plants from there as well. I use some archways from that uh, pack as well for the station. And here we go. This is the final details going in just here for the ride. So you're about to see a lot of work that has happened since the last clip. See lots of different buildings, more work on the station. The station is like a dock. So the idea is the station is the dock. You're going to board your boat for your cruise around Venice, your tour around Venice. So that is the idea with this ride. Here we go. You can just see the final pieces of scenery going into place there. Got lots of fountains, barrels, palm trees, as you can see. And there is still more lighting that I need to put in as well. You can see there's some lighting on the buildings. Still a lot more for me to do, which I'll be working on off camera. Here we go. You're about to see a POV of the first half of this ride now, just to get a bit of an idea. Here we go. Here's a bit of an overview of what the area looks like so far. You can see the bridge there, lots of palm trees, lots more buildings in there as well. So there we go. That is the current state of this ride. And here we go. It's time for a POV now. So you're going to see the first half of this ride. Of course, I don't show the second half because there's nothing really to see yet. But here we go. I'm going to let you enjoy this POV in silence without me talking. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.